So recently I got a chance to talk to Cameron Scott again from Merch Jar. He does Amazon ads like nobody else, and I wanted to learn more about it. So in this video is just a part one of a 3-part series. This chat that I had with him took over an hour, and so I'm cutting it up into 3 pieces. This piece right now is a kind of a Q&A. I'm going to ask him lots of questions that I have. Hopefully it's the same questions that you have, and he's going to answer them with lots of tips in here, lots of answers to questions. This is a really good interview. And in part 2 and 3, I'm going to show you inside of Amazon ads what kinds of things to change, bids and things like that. So watch to the very end, get all the tips on this one, and don't forget to come back for part 2 and 3. Hopefully this video is really helpful for you. Let's go. Hey everyone, I'm here with Cameron, who's an expert in Amazon ads. How you doing, Cameron?
Hey, Juno, good to see you again.
Thanks for coming on this channel. I want to learn more about Amazon ads. I've made it a mission of mine to learn more Amazon ads because I know how important it is for you. And I know a lot of people want to learn more about Amazon ads. So why not have the perfect person? You're my go-to guy for Amazon ads. I don't know anyone that does it better. So of course, had to get you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be back on, and hopefully I can share some knowledge and everyone can kick some butt this coming holiday season.
Yes. I'm
already
glad you
start
said
thinking
that.
About it. Like now's the time to start testing, and you want ads already. We're just going to jump right into the tips. We want to start optimizing. We want to have already optimized ads when we're in December. We don't want to be messing around with testing new stuff out in October, November. We want to already know what's working. So now's the great time if you're just learning, jump right in and just get started.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. That is perfect. Yeah. So before we start and I ask you questions, why don't you tell us, just for the people who don't know you, the handful of people, because I know a lot of people do know you, but just for the handful of people that may not know you, can you just give us a quick reason why you're my go-to guy for Amazon ads, why you're so good at it?
Well, I mean, there's always more to learn. So I don't want to say like I know everything about ads. I'm always learning too. But my name's Cameron Scott. I've been selling on Merch on Demand now for a little over 5 years. I've had a lot of success on there, and I've spent a lot of money on advertising, which is really where the experience comes from. And that experience and also the frustration with advertising is what led me to found Merch Jar, which is software that helps Amazon sellers manage and automate their ads so they can reclaim a lot of the time that it takes to manage all the little ins and outs of it and spend it on what matters most.
Perfect. Yeah. So good. So you've learned from experience, done this hundreds of thousands of times for hundreds of thousands of products. I know you have way more products than I do. And so you just know it inside and out and share it with us, which is, I'm so grateful that you can share your knowledge with us. So that's awesome. So
yeah, happy to do so.
Let me ask you some of the questions first. And then what I really want to do, and so stay till the end, everybody, because I'm going to show you my Amazon ads, what I do currently. And then we're going to have Cameron kind of pick it apart, give me some tips, and we can learn from that. I like doing show and tell. I like looking at it instead of just talking about it. So I hope this works out. I've never done this before. We've never done this with Cameron, but he hasn't even seen my stuff yet. So I think it'll be great though. So first the question. So do you think, or can ads work for any design, and does it guarantee sales? I know a lot of people put so much emphasis on ads and like, man, I wish I had ads that my thing would sell, blah, blah, blah. What's your, what do you think about those statements?
Well, advertising's not going to fix a bad product or magically make it sell. It's going to really just highlight if it is a good product, or if it is a bad one, you'll find out really quickly. What ads do is gives that product reach. It's going to put it in front of the audiences that are most likely to buy your product, and it'll let you know if it's a working product or not, just from your performance of your campaigns. So it's going to get you in front of people is generally how the advertising worse. So if it is a really good product, it's just going to really emphasize that And if it's bad, it's going to emphasize that as well, just through a lot of spend and no results. But it's not going to magically fix a bad product. So no, it doesn't guarantee sales by any stretch of the imagination. You can maybe force it through a lot of spend, but that's not going to equate to profit, which I think is what ultimately what most people are after at the end of the day.
That's right. Oh, thanks. Perfect. I'm glad you cleared that up. That's something I believe too, what you said. And I just want to make sure that everybody, we hear it from you as well. So that's perfect.
No, I will add on to that though, because I do see a lot of people trying to avoid ads at all costs. Well, I only want to sell organically. And I don't think there's any pride in doing that whatsoever. If you have a good product, you should be trying to get that in front of as many people as possible. So ads are a way to do that. So they're going to just, it's like putting fuel on a fire. That's how you want to look at ads with any type of product. They can work for any product, and you should be using them to, if you want to give your product the fullest sales potential that it would have, especially with how much competition there is, not just in merch on demand, but just Amazon in general. If you're not advertising and your competition is, you're at a massive disadvantage.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And like you said, if they're getting organic sales, why not put ads? You're going to just, like, you have the data to know that people are buying your stuff anyway. So put ads on it, like you said, and fuel to the fire.
100%. And I mean, should we touch on like the algorithm side of things too, and like sales velocity? Because that's like a huge aspect of it is with Amazon ads, it's the only ad platform where the better your ads are doing with getting sales, it's the only ads that will actually improve your organic sales too. And this is through the concept of sales velocity. The more you sell, because Amazon rewards things that sell. Because at the end of the day, Amazon only cares about selling products. So when your product is selling for whatever search term, they're going to move you up the rankings.
And you'll get more organic sales. Yeah,
exactly. Because those first several listings, the first four listings really, get the vast majority of sales. And it's not just like a linear curve, like, oh, I'm selling like 2 at the bottom of the page, I might get like 6 at the top. Like, no, it's like a hockey stick where you might get 2 at the bottom of the sales page. The top of the sales page could be hundreds of a day. That's how big of a difference it can be. Of course, this depends on the search terms and how competitive, how much traffic there is. But that's really what the difference can be, and ads can help you get there.
Wow. And I'm glad you mentioned that. 2 things. First, that was one of the questions I had is, should I do ads? Is that going to affect my organic sales? And you said it will, but for the positive, right? Not for the negative. And,
100%.
Yeah. And secondly, we're talking about, I forgot to mention in the beginning, we're talking about Amazon ads. So this is Amazon merch on demand ads. Well, anything Amazon really, right? But I think in this video, we're going to talk about Amazon merch on demand ads products, because that's what I sell.
But the great thing is, if you learn this with Amazon merch products, this works for any product. Like the same strategies work for any product. It's more of a philosophy with understanding ads. The same strategies that work on merch on demand will work with KDP, will work with Seller Central, will work with FBA. It'll work with any product.
Nice.
Will there be like specific things to each one? Sure. But the general strategies will absolutely apply to all of them. So learning this gives you a lot of knowledge you can use as you scale your business or move into other like product sectors.
Good. That is a great segue to my next question, which is, should I put ads on everything I design?
You certainly can. I do, or try to as much as possible, even with a huge catalog. I think they're great for discovering if your products will sell, or to find out faster if it's going to be a good product or not. So you certainly can do that, and you can do it with what I call a lottery campaign, which is a great strategy for large portfolios like a lot of merch on demand sellers have, especially once you have access to ads. You typically have usually several hundred products at that point, which is already dwarfing most typical Amazon sellers. But you can do this cheaply or at low risk with lottery campaigns. And for anyone that doesn't know that is watching this, a lottery campaign is essentially a single campaign with a single ad group And if you don't know the technical details, that's okay. And it's just all of your products inside of a single campaign. They're extremely easy to manage.
All the ASINs, just keep adding to it.
Every single ASIN, and there's a lot of variations you can do with this. You can segment them in all sorts of different ways. But that's the idea, is just lots of products inside of a single ASIN, and you're letting Amazon do all the work for you.
Yeah, and you're gathering data at that point, right? Like you're just finding out what actually works and what doesn't, and kind of moving on from there. It's like a launching point, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's what I would call like a harvesting type of campaign.
Yeah.
You're harvesting the products that sell, especially with, you have a ton of them that may have not sold at this point. So you're harvesting the products that could turn into your next best sellers. And then you're also harvesting data like search term data that you can utilize as well.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. And to learn more about that, we probably won't touch on it in this one, but I know you have a ton of videos for the lottery campaign. So
we can definitely include a link that just kind of goes over the lottery campaigns, and it'll lead you down a rabbit hole. But that's one of the best ways to get started for sure.
Yeah.
And just put everything in there, and it's pretty low risk.
How about, I said every design, but how about every product? So on Amazon Merch on Demand, you have the t-shirts, you have the sweatshirts, you have the hoodies, you got the pop sockets. Should I put ads on every single product? Phone cases, all those. What are your thoughts?
This is another thing you certainly can. I've seen ads work with every product type that Merch offers. Maybe not totes and stuff. Like I haven't seen too many people selling high quantities of some of those products, but with like iPhone cases, pop sockets, hoodies, all these different products, I've seen people that are successful with all of them.
Wow.
Me personally, I'm primarily in t-shirts and
just
hoodies.
T-shirts?
Okay. Yeah, that's primarily where I'm at. There are some differences in like how you go about getting those products inside of your campaigns, like iPhones and pop sockets, and a couple of the other products just have a different ASIN system. So you have to, it's not quite as easy to get all those ASINs into them, but it's definitely possible.
Okay. So you said t-shirts and hoodies. Do you mean standard t-shirts and pullover hoodies or something else?
Yes. I mean, I do I put designs on other products. I have designs on every single product that there is, but the vast, vast majority of my sales come from standard t-shirts, and then I don't know what the percentage, I'd have to look, maybe 10% or so of sales come from hoodies, which of course with the higher profit margins are still nice to have.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a great segue, because my next question is, what do you price at? So because you have ads on them, are you typically pricing your t-shirts higher and hoodies higher to kind of account for that? I
do. I guess I don't know what the average pricing is now after they did the recent royalty change.
Always going up.
I think everybody's kind of adjusting. All of my best-selling standard tees now are priced at $21.99.
$21.99.
It's a 6-something royalty, I think it is. And then my hoodies, I'm pricing at, I believe, $44.99 is where I've settled on those. Somewhere like a $15 royalty. Wow. And they're selling. Bestsellers are selling. I actually saw. I was nervous doing this because it's scary. Anytime you're changing with merch, yeah. So I actually started with my absolute bestseller with the royalty change. I would rather have a higher profit margin to where basically I have more ammo that I can put into ads. I'd rather have a larger cushion that I can put into more ad spend to outcompete all the competition. If someone's at a lower price, they got a $3 royalty where I have a $6, I can double my ad spend and still break even versus what they can spend on it. And I through my results, I've seen that's a better route to go than trying to have lower margin and recoup with higher unit sales.
That makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad you tested that too, because I have my hoodies at 35, but I'm thinking I should go higher, especially if I'm putting ads on it and ad spend. So there you go. That's the end of part 1 of the 3-part series with Cameron Scott. I really liked all the answers he gave here and all the tips. Hopefully you did too. When part 2 and 3 come out, I'm going to put them in the description so you can have easy access to them if you're watching this later. But in the meantime, if you're watching this right now, you can click and watch this video right here. This is a former interview I did with him, Cameron Scott, about a year ago, and there's lots of tips and tricks for Amazon ads there too. Thanks again for watching, and as always guys, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one.